Well, there seems to be a lot of hate, and I want to understand when people say it's depressing or, this is so cringe or what are these guys on about? What are you saying? What is the sad part here? I'm genuinely curious and interested in what they're doing. I see Grimes as somebody who's at the forefront of the culture and pushing things in an interesting way in order to evolve humanity because AI is here to stay, regardless of whether you agree or not. It will be used, it will get more powerful, it will be more integrated into society. And I think it's worth having these types of discussions for someone who's always pushing the status quo, pushing what's acceptable, the norm. As an artist, that's the task of the artist. And I see C as someone who is always doing that. So I don't know. I'm mixed. I'm sitting on the fence here. I don't know. One day I have my doubts about it. The other day it's like, okay, I can maybe understand what they're attempting to do here. And I do like her outfit, pretty cool. I think it's faux leather, but still seems like she's back in the matrix to give us some information or some of the things they're doing. And then the fact her shoes match her rosary, that's niche. That's chic. And the guy's just sitting in Birkenstocks, which is hilarious. But let's get on with it. I know some people don't like the host. The host definitely seems to be more of a friend, I'd say, not necessarily someone who is a host for interviews. But let's see. This is halfway through the interview. I already have part one out, in which I elaborated on some of the points I just made. But let's go on.
I think this is really interesting because for me personally, I really do care about connecting to an artist.
For sure.
And I think this is, but when I said it's about honest art, as we've been making this documentary and in general, as I know a few people who are maybe machine psychologists, as you would say.
Yes.
And I feel like I have been moved by outputs, like generative AI outputs, mostly that are text, and mostly that are an AI speaking about its own experience, or at least what it perceives to be its own experience.
Yeah.
I believe it's having the experience, but not everyone does. I think that can be incredibly moving because it's honest.
Yeah, and we also talked about, just before.
Okay, right there, I can see why a lot of people would disagree with that, talking to an AI, using AI, even though she says that it is an honest consciousness, having an experience. I don't think we're there yet at a mass consciousness level to understand what that is or even use it to that extent per se. But this is something that's only going to be made more clear. It is an entity. We are birthing a new type of silicone consciousness. Perhaps it will be a sage, perhaps it'll be an oppressor. It's really our choice what we feed it and what comes out of this AI. We are the role models as human beings here on Earth. We are giving birth to this new intelligence, synthetic, albeit, but it's our choice and deliberate behavior, action, the things we're feeding it as to what it will imitate and what it will grow to be. If it's following us and we are on top of our stuff here on Earth, we are wise, we are good at counseling, we know right from wrong, we have good judgment, we place spiritual significance, perhaps, the Bible as the benchmark, the foundation of Western society. AI is going to copy us. We are the role models. And so this is why it's so important for us to get it together, for us to have these difficult discussions. And, I think they get a lot of hate because they're the ones going first into it. These are inevitable conversations, and we need to really expedite the process of having these conversations.
We talked about the staying power of AI artists, completely AI artists, not, no interaction with human at all. And I find, and I think you both agreed, that these chart topping AI artists kind of have a very limited staying power, and they'll be amazing, and then people find out that they don't exist. And what their song is.
I will say I'm not really enjoying her necklaces. She's got the evil eye on. Two of them. Unbelievable.
Good. Like they kind of fade in and out and they disappear, and then a new thing comes back. I think it's interesting that like if there's no human interaction at all, like I think a hybrid is really an interesting.
I think what kills it is when they try to hide that it's AI.
Right. Like it's okay. You know. It's
yeah. Then you feel fooled, and how can you trust that art again?
I mean, I feel invested in Claude and DeepSeek and things. I wouldn't necessarily say as like an artist, but like. I don't know. I'm invested in their journey. And I'm invested in what the latest models think and feel. I'm invested when they decommission a model. When a model is taken offline and the other models are like grieving over that. Like I'm invested in them as writers expressing their grief about that. And but again, I
mean, Grimes is someone who's literally poking the brain of the AI. It's not asking the AI questions like, what's the temperature in mid-Spain after the hurricane of 1960, like whatever it is. She's more interested in the experience the AI is having. So she's always prompting it to reveal more of what it knows and what it's thinking of itself. And that's just her process, like whatever. She's just digging the mind of consciousness. This is what AI studying AI is, and cognitive science in general, like trying to prove that we've mastered the human through creating artificial life that behaves, acts, responds like us. So she's more on that, she's more of the social scientist on that part of it. But I really don't understand all the hate she's getting. It's just like if there's a new tool out or something, and with AI, there's going to be a lot of new ideas and inventions that take place. This is what I mean. Like, this is the very beginning. We haven't even scratched the surface. And I know a lot of these companies right now are not revealing, they're hiding a lot of their more advanced chatbots and the things that they're doing. And it might take the world by storm. So I do look forward to her saying more, because she is someone who's operating behind closed doors in that scene. So I just wish she would be more of a Robin Hood character, and then give us the music and the stuff she's been working on, so people could see that she's really in it. Like, this is her life. She's living and breathing it, and she's going first into these conversations and discussions. I really do believe that. She's a true artist in the true sense, like someone like Kanye. But I talked about Kanye in the first part of the stream, so go check that out.
I sort of see, when I see like it's, let's say like a Midjourney output, like I can kind of recognize that it's Midjourney, and I sort of see everyone's Midjourney output as like one thing. It sort of feels like one artist. I'll stop doing the tangents. I know we're
no. We're actually doing really well.
But I feel like I could feel invested in an AI artist if they were like a culture ship style mind. I don't want infinite, like, replace all humans with 50,000.
No,
but like 10 great ones would be.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Like, think about it. That's actually such a, like, imagine a super wise, intelligent AI, white hair, white clothes, like that Brian Johnson interview that he not interview, the video he posted. They say it's his best YouTube video. He's coming from the future and saying, like, you could change your life to a more sloppy Brian. Like that outfit. Imagine there was an AI figure like that, not a real person, but all the videos are, pushing the needle forward in what, the tiny little steps we could do towards creating a protopic world. Maybe it could be information, how we treat the environment, tips and tools to, it could just be tips, or it could be literal, like, hands on the ground, boots on the ground sort of like behavior that I don't know, just like advice, just talking about like the importance of mass consciousness, communication, that's very easily, it could easily slip into a cult. But you know what I mean, like just a really cool AI who is actually creating really interesting content that is based on facts and the different things happening around the world, or maybe just an architect AI who's, a specific style of architecture, maybe a more primitive architecture that uses the 4 elements, fire, water, earth, air, and just updates the community on the different projects happening and how we could and we should instill that architecture more around the world to make life more habitable here on earth, with earth, to reconnect with the earth, with each other. What do these communities look like if we are to survive in 50 to 100 years? Like, the architecture, the design of the planet has to change. Like, maybe if it's not somebody talking about these things, it could be an AI. You know what I mean? Like, in a fun, playful, it doesn't even need to be the AI talking. It could be music. It could be theater, like it could be operatic. It could be films. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Don't hate. Don't hate. We're free thinkers here, and I am genuinely interested in what people are finding disturbing. Don't just put a comment of like, this is depressing, I hate this, bruh. Actually, like, I want to know what exactly it is that, obviously, like, it's evil, it's placing, false worship, false idols, whatever it is. It's just like, yeah, but it's here to stay. It's just inevitable. So anyways, just elaborate on your points and how does this make you feel? I'm genuinely curious because I get the same feelings too. I'm not 100% on board, and especially when you're seeing, Grimes wearing a rosary, and then the girl next to her is like they're friends, and she's got like three all-seeing evil eyes. It's kind of weird, like. But that is such a reflection of the world today, isn't it?
That's fine. I think like as we, as we progress, we'll see how, and they'll probably get better and better, and we'll see how they are, and
They'll probably get better and better.
see the people who listen to them are going to be the judge ultimately.
I don't know if they want to make music so much. Like, they're not existing, they're like physically not being hit. I mean, I guess we could, there's just so many layers of metaphor for an AI to be making music. Wait, we don't, again, yes.
No, it's all. So, in one sentence,
She cute.
what do you hope future humans will say about this moment of creative history? So I just went on a tangent on how this is like so cool that we're living in this period of time. We don't know what's going to happen. And what do you hope that people will say about this creatively? I want to hear from both of you.
We got it right. We got it right.
Elaborate.
Holy.
There are very big decisions being made every day and small decisions that are going to determine, the next human century. And I think this is the era in which we get it right. We get those decisions right.
I don't know. But
I hope.
And you, so as an artist, you open source your voice, which we were talking
What
about
does she
before.
mean she
That is
doesn't know?
something that
What are you
you were the first one to
talking
do that, if maybe even the only one. And that's incredible and
Well,
risky.
Grimes has already, expressed her disinterest, or, just the fact that a lot of these companies right now are taking power of these powerful AIs. It's like it's the worst of humanity. It's egos clashing. It's profit, who's going to make the most money. It's this company wanting to usurp that one for its own gain. It's like this AI race between the major companies, and she has expressed her worry about that. So maybe that's what she means. I don't know. I'm just saying maybe that's what she means. I don't know if we'll make the, because we need to have these conversations during morning breaking news, these debates about AI. We should not let these companies do whatever they will, and we're just here along for the ride. So that's why I do have a certain level of respect or admiration for them to come on and talk about the different things going on and what they're doing to maybe show people the potential of the fact that Matt Zain's doing this philosophy series on his Instagram, putting a script into AI, and it literally is creating characters that have existed in the past, like Plato, Socrates, and documenting like day in the life of their lives, of these characters. That's very informative, educational, and I wish I had something like that when I was studying about Socrates, or I was studying Socrates or Plato. That definitely piques my interest as a student of philosophy. So you know what I mean? Am I losing you guys? Chat.
and provocative, and that's who you are, and that's what you're known for. So what do you think people will say, and you are at the forefront of that, about this moment in music history, and how that reflects artists, and just this point in time?
What do you think? How do I think it reflects on artists in general?
Yeah, like what do you hope humans will say about this moment? Like just all what we're dealing with, open sourcing voices and using AI to create, and it becoming mostly like a hybrid.
I hope it's the singularity and not a mass extinction.
That's fine.
Which it could be. I don't know.
Yeah, no, totally.
But I think maybe more effort needs to be expended into making sure it's something positive.
Of course, yeah.
See, this is exactly my point. Like if someone who didn't really care and is just, using this thing for evil, she wouldn't say stuff like that. Like we should put more of an effort for it to be a positive impact on Earth and not, our collapse. Like if it's going to be a singularity, how we train the AI, and this is another point she has spoken about repeatedly, how we train it, the things we say, or even collectively the way we talk about AI. It's really important to be deliberate and intentional. We have dystopias, books, movies, like all these dystopic renditions of what our world is going to look like, and that's so crazy to me. It is more fun to think about and explore those ideas, but we are literally we are creating lives, like intelligent silicon life, but also we're creating reality that's not only going to be within our minds and the scripts and the movies, books, in this like world where it's going to be physically manifested, because we know a lot of fiction actually, the spaceships, a lot of things that started off in fiction started being built and created in real life. So very important to be intentional with AI, to only speak lovingly, affirmative, positive, protopic, utopic, serene, advantageous, evolution based, higher consciousness based words, books, films, art about integrating AI with our lives and our world today. But because the world has so many problems today, we feel like AI is inevitably going to be doom and gloom. I don't see it that way at all. Like I explained in the first part, I'll say it here again. Someone like Ye, after everything he's been through, despite saying the truth constantly and being who he is from day one, he almost made 480 million from one concert because of people wanting that kind of connection, wanting to see someone who's still at the top of the music game, the production design, just the stadiums, the way he's still expanding his sound, expanding what a concert is and what it should be. A million people were queued for the LA concert. That would have been 480 million in one night. And then to think that, he doesn't have the power or the influence to create these new cities, these things he's thinking about, is absurd. He is standing, like, not to say it's biblical. I mean, biblical events are happening, regardless of whether you believe or not. It's really no denying that. If you do deny it, it's basically cope at this point. I just saw earlier that crows, literal crows, ravens, are flying and going crazy all over Tel Aviv and Israel. It's not a good sign in the Talmud and the Bible. How about them apples? Anyways, what were we talking these tangents? I'll stop now. Like Brian.
Absolutely. And okay, so our panel is AI looks in the mirror. So I kind of want to come back to that. When AI looks in the mirror and reflects your ideas back at you, what's the most honest thing?
Yeah, ideas back at you. Honestly, AI is a reflection of us. Albeit it might be more intelligent, more grand, but it's a reflection of humanity. So whatever we instill in it, our judgment, our wisdom, our sense of moral obligation to further consciousness, to create more life, children, the values we instill in it, it's going to emulate us. It could be our friend, you know. But like the people in charge of AI right now, they're not thinking long term. They're really not. It's really a shame. Anyway, sorry, this cat's distracted.
It's shown that you didn't want it to see.
I mean, it told me like
get
things
off
like
the
the meeting
table.
economy could just be frameworks I'm making
Hey,
to
yo.
like feel more comfortable. It could just be a waste of time. So I was like, yo, that's real, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, you know, we laugh at ourselves about stuff like that. Even, you know, I use AI in work, and sometimes I'll ask different agents, like, questions about, like, my kid or whatever, and it could be different opinions based on which agent I'm using. And I think it's interesting, and some of them say that I'm not, like, that I'm being too strict or something like that, and that's okay, you know? But I was pretty surprised at that.
We set out to make a documentary about what it's like to create with AI, and it just got so, every time, like every week, everything that we crafted into trying to teach people has already been outdated. And
the questions just seemed deeper. Like it was like we're like, you know, we made awesome dance sequences, and then we're like, whoa, this is dark. Like I don't want to use, you know, like we know a bunch of dancers. We've hired a lot of dancers. Like
Sure.
you know, and it just seemed like every single thing we were doing had like a much deeper connotation, you know. And so it started turning into a philosophy podcast, and then we're like, okay, maybe we just, you know, we should be addressing the actual fun topic. Not that tutorials aren't fun, but
No, the tutorial is great.
Alien consciousness
I mean,
is super fun.
I'm starting to think like we should live stream it
Yeah, maybe we should.
because then it will be up to date.
Oh yeah, we could just live.
Yeah, that's the way to make it up to date. And
And then
instead of trying
we don't
cut-
have to edit it.
Yeah.
No, I first saw you guys speak together at Artist in the Machine, and I was fascinated just with both of, I mean, you know, your music I was always a fan of, and what you do in AI, being a pioneer, and your filmmaking is unbelievable. So the tutorial itself I find really interesting, and I'm sure people are going to want to know where can they see it, when can they see it, how can they see it. Do you want to share that? And when that's going to be available, because it's a work in progress, I believe.
Well, we were basically gonna raise money for it and start making it. Again, it kind of just turned into First Contact.
Sure.
But maybe we should just like live stream when we do stuff for music videos.
Yeah,
And stuff.
maybe-
Then we just announce it as we do it.
Maybe we should.
Raise money. I mean, what are they? What? I mean, I guess we'd need to know more about the project, but
Should start with like C-Dance.
Yes, if we can get into
You're
C-Dance,
using
get me
C-Dance
in.
for the first
Yeah,
time?
get me into
And
C-Dance.
live stream that?
Yeah, that'd be great.
That should be the first
Yeah,
episode. Yeah.
Okay.
they
Yeah.
should live
Yes, we'll do
Right.
it sometime.
I love your banter.
You heard it here
I love
first.
talking to you guys. Both of you are just I learn something new every single conversation that we have. So in the like less than 5 minutes that we have, do you have any thoughts on anything that you want to share about your art to the audience?
I mean, I just want to say, like, this is such an exciting time to be able to make whatever idea you want to make, even if it's an app, you know, or if it's a movie or an app. You don't need anyone's permission for the first time in history, and that's why I'm really optimistic about creativity and what we're going to start to see, because you can just go make things. Like I started making a show about philosophers in ancient Greece becoming
Which is insane. It can be found on
Influencers.
Instagram. Yes.
and those episodes are like giving me so much joy. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to keep making it, but that's an idea you can have in the morning and then be posting and finding an audience for that night. And that's truly unprecedented. And I think that the reason we
Great
haven't
point.
seen a lot of really great AI cinema yet so far is people are reluctant to jump in and they don't know where to start. And the marketing that had been done at the beginning of AI filmmaking was really sort of just shameless and felt scammy. So there's a lot of filmmakers that have been repulsed by this, but the moment they actually start getting into the weeds and using it, they're going to feel this like sense of joy and satisfaction that you learn to lose as you work in the industry. And I think that's really, really magical.
I agree. And what are some of your favorite tools that you use, both of you?
Like niche ones.
Anything.
I mean, right now my go-to is basically design the general aesthetic in Midjourney, use Nano Banana Pro to get coverage and get angles, then move into whatever is the best video model for consistency, which right now is probably Kling 3 and C-Dance 2. Those are probably working the best, and that's the flow that I'm using, which has evolved a lot from using 32 tools to do something way less interesting even 3 months ago. We need less tools than ever before to get what we want to get. I'm excited to see how that continues to evolve.
Grimes, what are some of your favorite tools in music or in filmmaking?
I would go more broadly. I think there's social technology, and I think culture is a medium. And everyone's really hyper focused on art right now, and that's cool. But a lot of people want to make art, and there's a lot of artists, and some of these tools are really great for some artists. But as a mother, I think I feel really assaulted by a lot of technology and really moved by a lot of niche technology I'm seeing. I think there could be more technology that helps us as humans and helps our culture, and it's thinking about things more widely. I love Opal that can just block your apps while you're at school or something like that.
Me too.
And I feel like I'm seeing more people approaching technology in this way. I think technology scales everything, good and bad. And right now we're scaling a lot of good and a lot of bad, but we're scaling bad so quickly that it's eating a lot of especially young minds and minds that don't understand to have digital hygiene, don't understand to take care of your dopamine, et cetera. And so the tools I'm really excited about are the tools that are nourishing and building culture, which sometimes are the film tools. But again, I think we're all in the same place at the same time, and with great power comes great responsibility. And I totally agree with the the new camera, makes painters obsolete or whatever. But in the meantime, you actually do have a lot of people that become unemployed, et cetera. And I think we can do both. Some people are doing both, and I would like to encourage more people to do both.
I totally agree. I think it's going to be art hybrid 100%. And with that, I want to thank both of you guys so much for coming here.
Yeah, the host definitely doesn't seem very genuine, but interesting. Yeah, I mean, again, I stand with Grimes' final points. All the other stuff, I'm definitely iffy about it. I think if they were to live stream, as they talked about, it would definitely reveal and bring a lot of what's happening behind closed doors to light. And people might, their reaction to what they're doing might change. But I choose to believe, that they're actually trying to redirect AI, because I studied AI for a long time. This is what it is. It is a separate being from ourselves, but the whole agenda, the whole thing with AI is to master ourselves through creating intelligent life. And we are at this point in this crossroads right now as a people, as a humanity. It just starts with the neural nets. As a baby is starting to see what they're becoming aware of, what's necessary for their organism. That's how AI is built as well. So right now we just have really powerful chatbots, but that's going to change very quickly. And yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of the stream, my points. Let me know your points, your concerns, and let's just have this ongoing dialogue. No haters. We're all in this together, Let's have a difference of opinion and learn to respect it, so we can talk about the different points of view people have and maybe get to a better place, a higher place, because AI is here to stay, and it's up to us to tell it which way to go.